I think it's very interesting what Pierre-Yves just said, well, not just said, but at some point said that, to quote his father, people protect what they love. And I think that this is at the heart of our next speaker's philosophy in creating public spaces that are open to the community so that people can embrace them and sustain them, as is the SNFCC, hopefully. Mr. Renzo Piano, the stage is yours.
Thank you. I'm not sure what I can say about philanthropy. Philanthropy, actually, I'm just an architect, and there is very little I can do about that. I have my limit. Well, I can suggest to warm up a bit more the room. We are all freezing, and you know, we can save 200 or 300 kilowatts before the end of the day. I told you, there's very little I can do. I'm an architect. Let's talk about, first, very quickly, how serious job is making architecture. It's a difficult job. It's about making building. It's about making shelter for human beings. It's actually sometimes dangerous. Look at this guy. This is in Japan, building an airport. And I don't know what. This is in New York somewhere, putting pieces together. That's in Genoa. I don't want to make a lecture. I just want to say that architecture is a serious job. It's about making building, making place for people. And making building is sometimes dangerous. You have to fly above. This is in Paris. This is in London. Look at that. We are putting together with rock climber, the top of the shard. You see? It's not that easy. This is also architecture. Putting piece together. Of course, I know architecture is more than that. Architecture is more than that. It's also about making buildings that become icon in the city. They become place of civic pride. This is the Centre Pompidou, the Centre Pompidou in Paris. I made this together with my friend Richard Rogers something like 40 years ago. It was a spaceship landing in the middle of Paris. This is the New York Times in New York, the first tower after September 11. This is the vertical city of the Shard in the city of London. It's a vertical city. And you know, we have only 40 parking space in this building. It's a building for 10,000 people, and we only have 40 parking spaces. And the reason is very simple, because everybody moves on public transportation. This building is sitting on London Bridge Station. We have 2 subway. We have a 20 bus station. We have a 6 train line. So architecture is about that. This is the California Academy of Science in San Francisco. It's a building that is a platinum in the LEED system. It's a science museum. The roof is made of under 50,000 of those little things. So it's a vegetal roof. We have no air conditioning in that building, so you don't freeze. Architecture is also about people, making place for people. This is a very simple job. I've been for 15 years member of UNESCO as a Goodwill ambassador. This was working on historical center. This is again Beaubourg. That was only 3 years after May 68 in Paris. We were young bad boys. And what we got to do was to say clearly that the cultural place must be open, accessible, not intimidating. They should be machine, I'm not sure, but something different from marble monument. place for people. Making place for people is a serious job. And this is in Rome. It's the auditorium in Rome, music. Here, again, creating place where people come and they stay together. They built the sense of tolerance and coexistence that is essential to the civic life in cities. Architecture is also about art, of course. It's about sound. Here we are inside the big concert hall in Rome. This is about sound. This is about breeze. Here we are in the middle of nowhere, in the Pacific Ocean. This is a center for the Kanaki. The Kanaki are one of the 3 big ethnics in the Pacific, like Maori, like Aborigines. And those buildings have a sound. They play with the breeze. It's also about light. This is the Menil collection in Houston. So architecture is about construction, is about people, is about society, community. It's also about poetry. It's about looking for emotion. Emotion comes from art, from sound, from light. This is Harvard Art Museum in Cambridge, Boston. It's a recent job. And this, again, is the last job we have just opened in New York. It's the Whitney Museum of American Art. It's a building downtown. Again, it's a building where accessibility is the key word. Now, I'm talking about this because I wanted to stress one thing, that somebody believed that architects are people giving a shape, academic shape, sometimes happens like that, but or they select the colors. But it's actually the art of making building and making cities, and making public building in cities is very important, because this is what makes city place to live and to stay. Now, this is the reason why I'm so proud, I'm so happy, so touched by doing this job here in Athens, the Stavros Niarchos Foundation. This is the place. It's a big site. It's about 20 hectare site, and it's a big park. The park was partially open this week. People came. It's a great joy. It's a great joy because finally you can see the face of people, and this is a great compensation for the architect. And the idea is very simple. You know, where we are here, we are in Kalitea. Kalitea means beautiful view. And the beautiful view came from watching the sea. But now if you go there, you don't see anymore the sea, because the highway came and all the building. So the idea was very simple. We made that park. The park goes up gently from the bottom to the top to up to 30 meters, and the buildings are actually underneath the park. They are not on the ground. It's the ground that goes up. It's a very simple idea. You go up, and when you reach the top of the park, you discover the sea again. You have again the Kalitea. I don't want to make a long story about this, because in 1 year time, the building will be finished. Architects should never explain what they do. They should just do it and shut up. But anyway, a few things. I mean, this building is about the sense of lightness. It's, of course, the place for people. Well, you all know this building is a park, but it's also a library, a public library, state library. It's an opera house. It's also a concert place. We have an agora. We have everything we need to create a civic place. But also this thing that you can see up flying above ground is a 100 meters by 100 meter sun captor. Well, you may think, funny idea to make a sun captor. Well, that makes sense in Athens, where you need shadow, and you need to create a good, and this is what in old Greek was called elafrotis, the sense of light, the sense of fly. And what I'm trying to say, let's see, this is the site, one of the most incredible sites you can think about. And I can spend hours here talking about sustainability. Those are the pumps that we use to pump water for irrigation. And then we give back the water to the water table. This is the roof, creating energy from the sun. And this energy, it's almost enough. We are very close to zero emission because this is almost enough to feed the building when the building is not active. I mean, when the building is just breathing. And this is also very important. It's about energy, and it's also, this is another view. When you approach the building, you have a canal, 400 meters long. So we found water where water was already. You go up on the park, as you can see on the right of the picture, and then when you reach that point up there, you see again the sea. You are up enough, 30 meters in Athens is enough to see everything. You turn your head back and you see Athens. You watch south and you see the sea. And this is part of the argument about sustainability. You know, of course, building must be sustainable. They must be wise. But they also need to invent a new language, because this is the most important inspiring element of this century, is the fragility of Earth. So in some way, as architect, instead of looking at styles or fashions, we should really look to the force of necessity. And the force of necessity, it can be transported easily in poetry. I'm pretty sure about that. And actually innovation, but even in terms of language, is so much related to the force of necessity. Has been through all the history. The 19th century invented the lightness by making buildings in steel. Chicago was rebuilt in steel. So this idea that in some way sustainability is a necessity, but it's also something that helps to create a new language for architecture, I'm pretty sure. And this is something I have to say, because this is Mediterranean Sea. We talk a lot about that. I'm Italian. I grew up in Genoa. Here we are in Athens. If you look at this sea, you realize it's not really a sea, it's a lake. It's a big lake. And in the middle of that lake, you have two countries that came to enjoy life. And those are Greece and Italy. You can see. It's absolutely clear. And that's why I don't understand people thinking that Europe may be Europe without Greece and Italy or whatever. It's ridiculous, just ridiculous. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not a politician, but anyway. No, it's not a sea. This is not a sea. This is a consommé. It's a consommé of cultures. Look carefully. On this sea, you can see culture coming in the last 20 centuries, maybe more than that. Culture from the north, from the east, Oriental, African, Spanish, everything has been here. Of course, those two countries, Italy and Greece, are places of civilization, because they have been for centuries, 1,000 years, in the center of the Mediterranean Sea, for the good and for the bad. And of course, they are necessarily places of civilization and poetry. This is very funny. You know, this is what I saw last Monday when I watched out from my office in Geneva. That was Monday, last Monday. That was Tuesday. That was Wednesday. Thursday, not much different, but very different. That was Friday. Well, you may find funny this, but it's not that funny. It's absolutely essential. That was Saturday. That was Sunday. That's I shouldn't show this, but anyway, that's what I do. That means that what I mean is that I watch sea all the time, but also I love to be in the sea. And in some way, it's inevitable to talk about beauty. This is beauty, because Mediterranean Sea is something linking us all together. It's our little internet in some way. And of course, this water is not water, it's a recording machine. If you look carefully, this water has been recording for centuries many, many things. Sounds, voices, perfumes, light, color, vibration, everything is there. History. It's a beauty. It's a pure beauty. It's a beauty that collects everything. And it's a beauty that is also sustainable. I don't know in what sense, in philosophical sense you may say, but in sense of lightness, in sense of belonging to nature. You know what kind of beauty we talk about, by the way, because of course, beauty is something unreachable. I know very well. Sometimes you get to the door of the temple, but you never get in the temple. It's impossible. Beauty is something you should not even nominate, because it goes away. Like those few things that you cannot talk about, like silence. You don't call for silence, it goes away. Beauty is like that. It's unreachable, unless you think about special kind of beauty. That is the one that this country knows very well. You know better than me, but elected people in Athens in the past were used to make a very short speech at the election day. The speech was very simple. I promise you, people of Athens, to give you Athens back more beautiful than you gave to me. End of speech. And I find great. This is something great, because it's not just beautiful, it's also good. Of course, you know Greek better than me, but kalos kagatzos doesn't mean just beautiful. It's beautiful and good. They come together. And when beauty is this, it's different, because then beauty is knowledge, is understanding, it's knowing, it's searching, exploring. Of course it's art, of course it's music, of course it's filmmaking and reading, but it's also education. That's beauty. And this is a beauty that we can reach. This is a beauty that belongs to us. And this is the beauty that makes people better people. This beauty switch on a special light in the eyes of people. That's absolutely clear. They become better people. And of course, making place for people, making building for people, making public building. I love making building, that's for sure. That's my job. But I especially love to make public building. And the reason is very simple, because public building are places for people, that's all. They are places where people come together. They stay together. They share values. Even fear disappears sometimes in this sense of community. That's a great sensation. Place for people, public building, cultural building, I can say, make cities better place to live, for sure. So that's why I think beauty is not just a romantic idea. It's a very intense idea. I think beauty is probably one of the few emotions that can compete with other much more dangerous emotions, like victory, like fight, like money, like power. Beauty is intense at one condition, that is that beauty. It's not kind of metaphysical. It's something that belongs to us. And this beauty will save the world. I'm pretty sure about that. It will do it, one person by a time, but it will do it. So this is what I wanted to say. Thank you very much. And please switch off the air conditioning. Thank you.
How can you go on after that? You say you're an architect and a builder, but I say you're a poet as well, and a very talented one. Thank you.